אוקיי, בעזרת השם, continue פרק ט"ז, פסוק כ"א. לחכם לב יקרא נבון. To the person that has a wise heart, yeah, is called בנבון. נבון מלשון בינה, discerning, yeah, it's a title. ומתק שפתיים, and whoever has a sweet lips, sweet words, יוסיף לקח, he gains, he learned, he gains experience, he gains knowledge. The Gaon says the following. Inside the Chokhmah, we have the Tevuna. We've explained what is that Tevuna is an overlapping Koach, yes, that is found in the Chokhmah and is found in the Binah. And even though Shorsha, its root comes from the Binah, yes, but it has an influence and an impact on the Chokhmah. It resides within the Chokhmah. In what way? That the Chokhmah, yes, is pure knowledge, and the Tevuna gives you the ability to master that knowledge the way it is taught to you before you address it on your own and make your own assessment and develop it on your own, right? So the Tevuna gives you the ability to master the knowledge the way it is taught to you. So, yes, this is a yesodot that we've learned many times over, the course of the limudim on Mishlei. So says Shlomo HaMelech, לחכם לב, meaning the one that understands the Chokhmah with clarity, and I don't want to use the word perfection, but with accuracy, has the title of Navon. Umetek sefatayim. Now there is another level. There is, after you master the Chokhmah, and after you after you control the knowledge, you master it. You can bring out its sweetness. You can bring out its ta'am, its mitikut. And what is the mitikut Torah? What is the sweetness of the Torah? It is the derivatives that you on your own bring out. So the Torah, again, it's knowledge, but what you learn from the Torah and how you relate to it brings a ta'am, brings a sweetness to it. And that sweetness, usually when you're going to teach the Torah, you're going to teach now the Torah with that sweetness that makes it your Torah. Yes? And that's how you pass it on. And now the Talmid that listens to that Torah, him also will receive the Torah as Chokhmah, yes, as Chokhmah, and will himself now find his Metikut. Now, if you show and you teach the Torah based on how you received it and what you brought out of it, yes, so and you expose how you created, how you enhanced and brought forward the Metikut Torah, the sweetness of the Torah. Yes. Now people can relate to your Metikut also. Yes. So you have the Torah. You have what the Torah brings out to you, what you take out from the Torah. That's your Metikut. And then there is the Metikut that the person that will learn the Torah from you also develop. That's his Metikut. But when you teach the Torah on how you received it, and you explain and you bring out your own Metikut, what you gain from it, what you developed from it, so now you expose your Metikut Torah to the Talmid himself. And that avodah, umetek sefatayim yosif lekach. When you know how to explain the Metikut you've experienced, then you're mosif lekach. You learn more. You gain more from that Torah. And you also allow others to be more engaged and excited with that Torah, and them too benefits from that Metikut Torah, from that sweetness. You understand? Here? So you have a Ma'ala of a Navon, and the Navon has to be able to be Metek Sefatayim, not only to master the Torah, but also to bring out its Metikut and share the Metikut by teaching the thought process and the development that led his Limud Torah to his own Metikut. And that's how you give over the Torah with your Metikut. Good? Pasuk Kavbet. Which essentially, before we go to that Pasuk Kavbet, Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell us, yes, on how to teach and how to convey a message. That sometimes a message, if you want the person to really embrace what you want to teach him, a lesson, whether it's Torah, it's not enough just to give over the knowledge. It's what the impact the knowledge had on you, what you learned from it, and how you got to that. That process, that experience, if you know how to express it and teach her, yes, not only do you convey the message, but you convey it also with an experience, with an emotion. So you enhance and you raise your chances, yes, to really impact the person you're trying to convey that message to, more than if you just convey the blunt information and the blunt chokhmah. Pasuk Kavbet. מקור חיים שכל בעליו. שכל, right? Intellect, the sechel of an individual, is yes, is the source of life. ומוסר אינים איוולת. And the discipline, the punishment of the evil, of the fool, it's his own folly. Says the Gaon, Melech says, "Chokhmah tehaye be'aleha." Yes, that the Chokhmah, we say, is the source of life. That's the Chokhmah. Says Shlomo HaMelech here, if you know, if your sechel, if you know how to use your chokhmah, that becomes mamash a source of life for you. Yes, because the chokhmah, when you know how to use it, it gives you an edge. It gives you opportunities. It gives you solutions. Yes, it enlightens you in your life and stimulates your success and your behavior, which in itself is chaim. More so, sechel also means success through the chokhmah. Like the pasuk says, "Vayhi David echol derachav maskil." He was successful in all his paths. So through the sechel, through the application of the chokhmah in his life, David HaMelech was able to raise his success level very high. The sechel also success. Yes. So we find from that pasuk, "Vayi David echol derachav maskil," that the word sechel, yes, means atzlacha, means success. Because how do you ensure success? When you develop your chokhmah, you enrich your chokhmah, and apply that chokhmah through sechel, through intellect, and that's how you guide your actions. So, and by doing this, you become a skill. You become somebody that has success through his chokhmah, through his sechel. So, if you come to reframe the pasuk, how do you read it? You sechel be'alim mekor chaim hu lo, right? The sechel of the be'alim is a source of life for him. That's the benefit of the sechel. Musar evilim, but the isurim that come to the evil, yeah, the punishment, the difficulties, the challenges, yes, that comes to the fool. Ivelet, says the Gaon, it's the fruit of their behavior, of their foolishness. Like the pasuk says, "Hataim tirdof ra'a." Can kimokesh the foolishness is in itself, yes, the isurim. Forget about what it yields and it leads to. The fact that the fool behaves with foolishness, his behavior in itself is his own punishment. Yes.
Sorry, can you explain that a little again?
Well, yeah, for the fool.
Yes.
Yeah. Shlomo HaMelech says that the Yisurim, the Musar of the Evilim, of the fools, is Ivelet, is their foolishness. What does that mean? That means when a fool is behaving in a foolish way, his behavior in itself, forget about what the behavior will lead to. That behavior itself is a punishment. That behavior itself is a Yisurim, yes? The fact that the person behaves like a fool, it's his own punishment. He's punishing himself through that behavior itself. Now, that behavior will lead to more problems. That's Tosefet Ra'ah. That's extra. So, what Shlomo HaMelech wants to say, that the behavior of the fool is his own medicine, is his own punishment. Everything else is collateral damages. But the biggest damage of the behavior of the fool, it's his own behavior. Because that behavior defines him as a fool, never allows him to get out of that foolishness. So his behavior is his own prison. Good. Pasuk Kav Gimel. Lev Chacham Yaskil Pihu. A wise heart says, right, make his word intellectual, more intelligent. ועל שפתיו יוסיף לכך, and with his lips, yes, he learns more. He learns more with them, more lekach. Says the Gaon, the Chacham is careful to apply his Chokhmah in two ways. First, by analyzing and evaluating what he's about to say, what is going to come out of his mouth. Because his chokhmah is mainly expressed by the words that come out of his mouth. Okay? So the chacham is careful with what comes out of his mouth and will check himself and double check himself and triple check himself to make sure that what he says, yes, are words of wisdom, are words of chokhmah. And what he says, he understands. And he can stand by the words that he says. But he doesn't stop there. Das לב חכם ישכיל פיהו. ועל שפתיו יוסיף לכך. He constantly, after he says what he says, yes, he constantly keeps on trying to learn. Not only say over, but learn from what he says, a new lekach. על זה נאמר, ומתלמידה יותר מכולם. When you teach something, when you say shiur, when you teach a lesson, you convey what you know. Yes. Now, yes, you can convey it with the metikut, etc. But you transfer information that you've mastered, and you could stop here. The chacham, when you teach, not only do you convey, but he won't stop there. What he says in itself is a reason to do chazara on what he just said himself, and refresh and reevaluate and think through what he has just taught. Is his own word. So what does he have to say? The ma'ala of the chazara, the fact that you can go back on something you've mastered and you're teaching and you're saying over, mosif lekach also. So it's aligned a little bit with the pasuk that we had read earlier, but from a different perspective. Yes, in pasuk kaf aleph, yes, when you teach something with what you have learned from that knowledge on your own, and you teach it over, and how you got to that, yes, that stimulates the person to know more, to look into it more. That's one thing. So that's what the chokhmah does to the person. And then there is the responsibility of the person himself in reviewing and revising what he has just said, because the way he said it and how he said it and the words that he chose will indicate to him that he can learn something new. There's another hidush here. There's another lesson that can be learned. So from two facets, yes, the chacham keeps on growing in his own chokhmah. The fact that the chokhmah itself, yes, when he explains it, stimulates interest. And on the other end, his responsibility, yes, of owning the chokhmah that he's teaching will push the chacham to review what he has just said, what he has just taught, and that also is mosif lekach. So the lekach can grow from the chokhmah itself, the mitikut of the chokhmah, and from the responsibility of the chacham. So, Namut can, because now it's another nekuda. Is that pasuk kav gimel clear?
Yeah.
So we just finished Perek Tet Zayin, pasuk kav gimel.